Hey there. Hello, hello. So this is the mentorship session. It's an open session where you can ask any question, and I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge. I just completed level 2. I think I'm doing fine. I have no question. That's really good. Good job. Yeah, sure. You can ask anything. Is Solana a serious competitor to the IC? Well, Solana and IC are very different technologies, so I don't believe so. Solana is a ledger, so it's more of a traditional blockchain, I would say, like Ethereum is, and it's fast and cheap, and there is a big community, and they have a lot of funding. There is a whole like ecosystem of venture capitals, and they have quite good funding. But it's not a competitor to the IC. I don't believe so. Like for example, Discover, ICP-based platform, recently integrated Solana. Many people complain saying, "Oh, Discover is leaving the ICP ecosystem and so on." It's not the case. The platforms can be multi-chain. I believe all of the big Web3 platforms are going to go multi-chain actually. And Solana is focused on DeFi and NFTs. ICP is focusing on backend and um, more like full stack application. So yeah, I would say there is no really a competitor to the IC because it's a very special project. So I think there are three types of competitor to the IC. The first one would be the fake competition. So there are some cloud that claims to be built on the blockchain, but essentially it's a marketplace of servers. So you can rent like cloud or servers and you use a token and the token is on the blockchain, but it's not like IC, which essentially combines different nodes together to create this cloud. So nothing real. This is just like marketing kind of fake competition. Second type of competition is centralized cloud. So Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. I think it's the biggest like competition. And yeah, that's real. Third one would be some platforms are trying to go in the same direction as the IC. So for example, I know that Filecoin is integrating a virtual machine. And they are essentially trying to create like a kind of what you can do on the IC with this canister. Like they are trying to create a environment for canisters outside of the IC. That would be a competitor, but it's not yet out there. So that would be probably still 1 or 2 years away. Yeah. So I think there is not really a competitor to the IC. Uh, yeah. I made a Next.js application with the IC. And what is the best way to use internet identity for my authentication? It's too broad question. I cannot answer that, but a few guidance. You can integrate internet identity pretty easily. I will give you the link. There is a tutorial. Yeah, there is a tutorial. I will send in the chat to integrate internet identity. Okay, so someone is asking about switch case and the optional type. More explanation. Actually, it's code here. Okay, I'll answer this question about the switch and the switch case and the optional type. First question, what is an optional type? Oh, I want to show something actually. There is so recently, I think it's here. Recently, they've added artificial intelligence So here on the website. And yeah, let's see if it can answer our question. What is an optional type in Motoko? That's pretty good, actually. Maybe I should zoom a little bit. In Motoko, an optional type is a type that can okay. In Motoko, an optional type is a type that can either have some value or no value at all. It is denoted by a question mark preceding the type. For example, question mark not is an optional type that can either have a natural number or no value. Then it's just a repeat of it. So this is an optional text. And then when you have an optional value, you can use switch case to switch on it. And so switch name, case null. Let me see. Okay. So I'm trying a really simple kind of thing. This will take an optional text, and if it's a null value, it will return true. If it's not a null value, it will return false. Like, for example, hello would return false. And null, so we remove any value, we don't put any values, will return true. So optional type is basically a type that you use when you don't know if your value is going to be available or not. For example, sometimes you want to see if you find a member of your database, but maybe there is no member for a specific reason. And so you need to kind of take into account that your value can be a text or null. So optional text is a value of type text or the null value. Okay, so this answers the question. Hey, Nastro. Okay, is this normal warning Field append is deprecated. Yes, this is a warning. It's normal. No worries about that. Can we check if a value is null using if else instead of a switch statement? Yes. You can do this. For example, you could use something called option. So I think it's like in Motoko you have the option type. Not here. Motoko is here. Motoko base library. You could use this one. I don't recommend. I think switch case is better, but and there is a function called option.isNull. So you could do like or just like yeah, just option.isNull. But yeah, I don't recommend using that. It's kind of like very verbose type of syntax, but you could use option.isNull, which would return true if the argument is null, otherwise return false. And you combine this with a if. The good thing about the switch is that you can really switch case will give you access to. Yeah, you could do this actually. Yes, I mean this is like now we're kind of going into like we're doing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, are there VCs that are interested in a pre-seed round? If you have a good idea, yes, some of them could send it to me, or you could also send an email to Code and State with your pitch. And I know there are other like VCs in the ecosystem, so yeah. Do you have another question? Can you use a React frontend in an ICP application? Yes, for sure. So uh, you can take a look at like there is a React actually. Here. There's only yeah. So we don't do that right now, but you could in theory have a front end for your application. So right now we are only focusing on the Motoko side of things with the backend, but you could also deploy a front end on the IC. So for example, this one from the Motoko playground is built in React actually. So like this is a React front end that is also deployed on the IC. So this is a question. This is answered. Anyone? Other question? Yeah. Hey.
Yes. So hi. Right. So this question is regarding to that last task in level 3. So that they have, it is asked to provide the total supply of the token as a NAT, right? So what I tried to do is I tried to sum all the values that are stored in the ledger, but it is giving an integer overflow, NAT overflow. So the question is there is it looking for the number of accounts as a result?
It's not possible to overflow a NAT. So like NAT is unbounded type, so you can never overflow a
Oh,
NAT.
okay.
But
Okay,
maybe what's
okay.
happening is that you are looping and one of your index is out of range or something like this.
Okay, okay.
I would be
Got it.
curious to see how you do that, how you do the looping.
Yeah, it's showing a trapped explicitly arithmetic overflow. Let me just share my screen there. Is it possible for me to share my screen? No, I'll just share the code. Right. I think the error is here. Let me just share the code.
Yeah, you excuse me, you can share your screen actually. I
Okay.
need to uh, okay, I sent you a notification to join as a panelist.
Yes. Okay, let me share my screen. Oh, it says that host disabled screen.
Yeah. It's good now. You should
Okay.
be good to go now.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is what I have written. Right. So here is where the arithmetic is happening.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm getting the error like trapped explicitly, arithmetic overflow. That is the exact error message that I'm getting. Okay, so my
Okay.
full implementation like this is just NAT, right? So and I initialize the blob as like this, the default sub account, right? We want to initialize everything as 0. So NAT 8 is, I believe it is 8 bits, right? So 8 bits, 32, so it will be 32 bytes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good to you.
Yeah. So, but other than that, this Okay, maybe in this transfer, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Here I did not do the calculation. Maybe because of this, it is happening. That it is happening. I don't know, but I'm not sure. But still, I don't understand why that it is showing arithmetic.
Can we call the total supply function from your
Yeah.
like from the
Okay.
playground, for example?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Okay, it's just giving 0.
Mm-hmm. Which seems normal if you haven't mint anything. So it's maybe
Okay.
another problem. Like it's maybe in another function that you have a problem. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Can we go to mint? Mint, the default sub account. Can I see default sub account once again?
Okay.
Hmm. What happens if you try to mint? Does it work?
Okay. Let me just try. Mm, Principal, let's give some 50. This is what. Okay, principal. I should. How to give principal that I don't know. How to specify principal is that.
I can give you like an example of a principle so in the chat.
Okay.
Just copy paste this.
Okay. Right. Let me just call this. Okay. So this is
Okay,
where
so
I'm.
this comes from here, from the mint. I'm skeptical about the default account.
Okay. Okay.
Why don't you just do sub account is equal to null?
Okay. Default
Like
sub is
like
equal
instead
to. Okay. I am not sure. I thought
line 27, you could do default account uh,
null
instead of
here
having
like this.
actually just null. Like you don't even need the option dot make. You would
Okay.
just need like null like this. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think this should solve this.
Yes.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah. Now maybe I'm doing some mistakes here. Okay. I'll just review the documentation one more time for
I
not
don't know
taking.
what's happening though, but it seems like yeah, there is something wrong with the default sub account.
Yeah. I think somewhere around here. I will review it. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is outside of the lesson. Some people are telling me that Web3 is dead, and I'd like to know your opinion on this. No, it's not dead. Uh, so it's definitely less active than it was like 2 years ago when there was a huge craze and everyone was making money, even though they were not doing anything meaningful. Uh, but it's definitely not dead. I believe this is like in every kind of technological innovation, you have the first phase where people go crazy. There is nothing real happening, like no real technology, but people kind of uh, believe that everything is already changing and it goes very fast. So everything goes up, everyone is excited, and then the bubble bursts. Everyone goes back to Web3 is dead and so on, and it's bad. And then it keeps on building, and next year or in 2 years, you will hear about Web3 again. It's definitely like this, and that's what I've noticed from working in this industry. Like people, it's very easy to change how people like get excited or not, and sometimes things change very quickly and they get excited, and sometimes takes more time. But definitely, like, there are thousands of people working, very, very smart people working in this industry. So it is not dead. And I'm amazed every day by how new technologies are being created. Yeah, Web3 refers to decentralization. Actually, there are some people that use Web3 for other things, like they mix it with AI, Internet of Objects, other concepts. But for me, when I say Web3, I really refer to the decentralized aspect of the internet. And yes, I believe Web3 will eventually replace the big tech giants. I wouldn't be there otherwise. But we are a long way from that. It's not going to happen easily, but it will. It will happen. I'm pretty sure of it. It's more like a feeling right now than a reality. But yeah, if we have one chance of replacing the big tech giants, I think it's worth to try. Um, I don't, yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. It's gonna take many, many years. But I think at some point Web3 will be more interesting than Web2, just because it's hard in the beginning, but when you get enough people to, like, for example, in Web3, you can very easily build on top of each other because it's more of an open kind of world. In the beginning, it doesn't really make sense, but once you have enough people building on top of each other, you can see really great projects being built. That's what happened on Ethereum with the DeFi kind of revolution. A lot of open source projects started as kind of experimentation. Like people didn't really know what they were doing. They were just trying out things. And it ended up creating like a whole industry with millions, even billions of dollars, and people kind of changing their life and also changing how finance work. And I think the same thing will happen with internet, like social network. But we'll see. How do you become a node provider? If you become one, how many ICP? I don't know how much you get. I think it's interesting if you have enough to invest in a node to actually set up one. In 2024, we will be able to like host boundary nodes, so nodes that gives you access to the IC from your phone or like your computer. Right now, the consensus nodes, so the nodes that run the whole protocol, you need to read the documentation on how to get on board. Uh, I'm not the owner of a node, so I don't have all the details on this. I need to find my charger very quickly. Ah, okay, running out of battery. I send the link about the nodes and how you can get onboarded. And there is even a topic on the forum. Do we have more questions? I have another question. Yeah, go ahead. Suppose a DAO. It's supposed to be a democratic kind of government. Yes. What happens if a member accumulates so much override token? Yeah, that's a good question. Uh, so, okay. In general, DAOs are very, uh, like it's a very broad concept. So we could have DAOs where uh, the more tokens you have, the more voting power you have, which is most of the case. It's like this because it kind of makes sense on a financial like lens. Like the more people are involved, the more they have to say about the direction of the project. But that can lead to problems like the one you mentioned, that people have just so many tokens that they basically have full control of the DAO. That's already happening in some DAOs, and actually in most of the DAOs today, I think it's the case, if we are being honest. But there are ways to solve that. So we need technologies that essentially enable us to know who uh, who owns the token and who is a human, so we can link accounts together. And so this is called like proof of humanity. There are whole dedicated teams working on that. If we have this, then we can essentially give one voting power to every specific person. So that would solve this problem. I think some DAOs will always be more financial. Like, for example, the one with the projects that you have to invest in makes more sense that the more invested you are, the more decisions power you have. But some other DAOs, maybe like DAOs for governments or DAOs for more like open or public services, we could decide that the voting system is not based on the token. The voting system is based on how, uh, like it's just one person, one vote. We could do something like this, or we could do one. If you have like a Motoko Bootcamp DAO, for example, maybe the more Motoko tutorials you've created, the more voting power you have in the DAO, or the more bootcamps you've created, the more voting power you have in the DAO. The whole thing is that we can kind of try out what's working, what's not. But yeah, we need to make sure that in the DAOs that we have, people don't accumulate too much token, which is a challenge. Can you explain update function? I have some problem. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have still 15 minutes. So Aladdin, Aladdin, I don't know if it's a good pronunciation. I will give you a link to definitely it's can scale, I think. Yeah. I don't think the code is open source. That's such a bummer though. I will give you this link so you can take a look if you're interested. And the other questions I'll take. So, uh, Brian, can you show me your screen? If you have an issue with the day 2, I will need to see for myself. It can scale gonna be free like MySQL? I believe yes, but right now I haven't talked with them in a few months now. I want to catch up with them. So they are working on like enabling developer to scale, because sometimes on the IC can be hard to scale to more canisters when you have a big application. So they're kind of working on solving this problem. But yeah, I need to catch up with them. What's their business model? If they plan to make it available free or as a paid service, I don't know. Is there a way to contribute? Reach out to them, probably. That's the best way. They have a Twitter that you can contact. Brian, would you be able to share a screen? Or I see that you have some issues. Okay. Maybe send me your issue on Discord so I have more time if you cannot share your screen now, so we have more time to go through it. Hey, can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So can you
I
share?
I couldn't share my
Okay.
I don't know why I couldn't share, but in Discord I can do it.
Okay. Or if you can quickly explain what is the issue that you have, I can try to answer.
Let me see. I have a in the suite inside the function of update member. I have issues with the suite. In the first case, I have if the case is null, return result that error. Color is not a member. In the case answer, in the next case, I have member that dot put color a member and the return result okay. But I have the both result in red, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I need to see your code.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to see your code. Okay. I'll try to see what I can do.
Okay.
Okay, so someone has another question about level 2 in my implementation, remove member. Why is it needed a principal as a parameter? Let me see. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. That's not needed because we are taking the we are taking the color. So actually you would not need this. It's too late to change it now, but yeah, that's kind of redundant thing that doesn't necessarily is not needed. Okay. I see not your problem. Diogo, I hope I answered your question. So your problem, Brian, is result.error is not how you kind of write it. It's hashtag error. So you need to replace. I will send you in the chat. That's how it's the syntax is. And you don't need the results. Yeah, like yeah. And for okay, it's the same. Sorry to hear that you don't have electricity at the moment. That's, yeah, sorry about that. I hope he can go back really soon. Okay, good. Yeah, so you need to put it as parameter, but not use your user principal. That's actually kind of a mistake on my side to have this principle here. Yeah. Yeah, good lunch. I also think it's time for us to go. I don't see more questions, but yeah, thank you. See you. All right. See you guys. See you tomorrow. And good luck.